Whether you're in the public or private sector, we all dread them. Meetings. They may help run a company or agency, but employees hate the time and money it takes to get to them. Now there's a way to be a part of a meeting without all the hassle. Joining me now are Hackathorn and Clark Aldrich to discuss the Virtual Worlds tool. So virtual reality not for gamers anymore?
Indeed. There's actually quite a few different use cases that we've been looking at for virtual worlds. Certainly one of them being meetings. Of course, meetings take time regardless of the reality that you're in, but our hope is maybe they'll be a little bit easier in the future.
Now, you've come all the way from Colorado. You're with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. You're having an IT summit at our new National Harbor, so it's good to have you here. What kind of virtual reality programs have you worked on in the past?
Well, that's NASA's IT summit, I should mention, rather than NOAA's, but we do have quite a few collaborations with different agencies. We've been working with folks from the DoD, DOE, NASA. They're all kind of looking at virtual worlds as different tools for different agency goals and missions.
Now, Clark Aldrich, you designed some of these simulations. Explain those. I mean, when we talk about meetings and virtual reality, I just start to kind of gloss over. Put this in perspective.
I think we all do. A lot of organizations are using simulations for training now as well. And so the idea is the same kind of experience that get kids excited about computer games can be used for training as well. One of the best parts about training is developing something called conviction and competence, which typically have not been possible through traditional tools.
Explain again. You've already got some programs coming out that people would think that perhaps, you know, this is just fun and games, and it is games, but it's more important than that. For example, what are we seeing here?
You know, there's a great article in Nature this week about a group called Fold It, who've actually taken something as very complex and scientific as protein folding. And what they've been able to show is that through the concept of gaming, the people are actually able to predict those structures better in a competition, in a game, than our best computer models and simulations. So I think in the future what we'll see is that a lot of the complexities of life, if we can make life's problems fun and engage people, that we can be much more successful in finding good solutions.
Clark, how do you launch a program like this?
Well, you build it out. You have to have very specific objectives up front. It's one of the worst things to do is jump in and say, oh, we're just going to do it. Just throw a lot of money at it and see what happens. I think you have to have very specific goals. Is your goal to meet? Is your goal to meet virtually? A lot of military applications right now are to bring people together from all over the country and all over the world. Bring people in from Australia, from New Zealand, along with the United States and other countries to get them together in a room and practicing a lot of both joint operations and also even things as commonplace as meetings.
So what we used to think of as bad PowerPoint presentations, it's moved way beyond that to what we're seeing on the screen now, to where we're actually immersed in it, we're learning from it, and we can actually use this for meetings then.
For meetings, and it's a different kind of learning. One of the things that we are learning about learning is that the traditional PowerPoint presentations just kind of give you this glossed over learning to know content. What we can now do with simulations is develop much more learning to do skills. How do I do something new as opposed to just know something new? So again, we get this issue of competence. Once I leave the simulation, I can do entirely new things, but also conviction. One of the greatest problems with a lot of these meetings is people hear stuff and they walk away and all kind of slips out the door. So you see a lot of opportunities for people to develop really deep knowledge, real conviction in something. One of the problems we had with texting people driving the Maryland subways, they did not have conviction in what they were doing, and so they sort of forgot the rules. One of the big differences between conviction and just awareness is like a speed limit. We all break speed limits some of the time anyway, because we sort of see them, but if no one's watching, maybe we can go a little faster. Once we get into a near-death accident, we've learned it and we'll never ever forget it. We'll never break that rule again. So the issue of we can now do very deliberate training to develop much deeper knowledge, again, conviction rather than just simply this old-fashioned awareness.
I'm thinking about Jamiroquai and the virtual reality music video he did a few years back.
Sure.
Clark Aldrich, Hackathorn with NOAA, thank you both.